So the Pittsburgh Steelers depth chart, it just got a shakeup. And the initial depth chart for your Pittsburgh Steelers was just released this morning. And it featured a really interesting development in the wide receiver room. So, of course, DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin, they're going to be the top dogs, right? They're going to be the number one and the number two at this position. But Scotty Miller, he's been super impressive this training camp. He's actually leapfrogged 2024 third-round pick Roman Wilson. So now he's listed on the depth chart as a second-string receiver alongside veteran Robert Woods. Absolutely love that Robert Woods is on this team. The veteran presence that he provides, the essentially an extra coach within this wide receiver room. I absolutely love that he's on this team. And a lot of you guys will look at this as a negative, most notably on Roman Wilson, but I choose to look at it as a positive because, frankly, this offense needs a shot in the arm. It's looked pretty flat, a little listless at times during this offseason, during training camp, and I think it's a really good thing if a player really pops. And Miller, he's definitely popped. He's had lots of standout performances at St. Vincent during this training camp. And during that time, he's really shown his speed. He's really shown his creativity and gaining separation. He's just looked more explosive than the rest of the depth chart below the top two players. Now, he's 28 years old. There were absolutely no guarantees that he was going to get a roster spot coming into this offseason. He signed a one-year deal. I think he's going to secure a 53-man roster spot after camp, and he's definitely going to be with the team when this upcoming matchup against the New York Jets, this week one matchup to start the season, and now we're going to get into new definite real football happening. We're going to get to actual preseason games coming up really quickly. So let's kind of look at who Scotty Miller is. He's a 6-year veteran. Over that time, he's played in 80 games, 11 starts, 90 receptions for 1,154 yards, a 12.8 yard average, 6 touchdowns. He's also carried the ball 8 times for 81 yards, a 10.1 yard average, and 1 touchdown. So how he got to the Steel City for you guys, he signed with the Steelers last year. He played in 13 games. He only started 1. 5 receptions for 69 yards, a 13.8 yard average, including a long of 21 yards. So really his performance last year and maybe years prior doesn't really move the needle in a big way. But man, he's looked really good during this training camp. And he also has history with your offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith. He spent the 2023 season with Smith with the Falcons, appeared in 17 games with him. And he finished the year with 11 catches, 161 yards, 14.6 yard average, 2 scores. So pretty similar production. How he got into the league, he was originally drafted by the Tampa Bay Bucks in the 6th round back in 2019. The 208th overall selection, spent the first 4 seasons of his career with the Bucks, appeared in 50 games, pulled in 74 catches for 924 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he's a Bowling Green guy. He was a really good player there. 215 receptions for almost 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, first-team All-MAC honoree as a sophomore, and second-team honors as a senior, third-team honors as a junior. Not that that's super relevant, but we're looking at a player that's kind of unique in the fact that he's actually played with Tom Brady and also is going to play with future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. Just kind of a really unique pairing there. So we talked about Roman Wilson and that he's been leapfrogged. Let's talk about where he's been, because he came into camp this year with a huge opportunity, a huge chance to make up ground. And this is following his injury-riddled rookie campaign last year. But he's really struggled to stand out in a really meaningful manner. I mean, like, he's had some really good big moments. I talked about it a few days ago. I think it was last week, not last year. That'd be going way back, but he had a really stud catch over Joey Porter Jr., but his route running, it hasn't looked super crisp, and and he hasn't really had an opportunity to build a really meaningful connection with Aaron Rodgers so far. It just doesn't quite look right. It doesn't quite pass the eye test. Now, obviously, there's more time for that to happen. There's more time for this whole offense to gel because a lot of pieces have been thrown together Arthur Smith is already admitting that he's had to adjust a ton with having Aaron Rodgers in town. And then also, Aaron Rodgers is talking about that he's not fully comfortable. I think most of it is due to that there's just a completely new nomenclature when you switch to a new offense, when you've had the experience that he's had to pretty much be in the same offense his whole career. In Denver, it was not in Denver, with the Jets, it was pretty much the same offense because he brought Hackett with him. And there were a lot of rumors that Aaron Rodgers and Hackett were just kind of running it back from Green Bay. You know what happened. So let's just kind of table that. I think it's a really good thing that Scotty Miller's popping. That's by no means a final depth chart. Maybe it's just a light of fire under Roman Wilson's took us, but we'll just see how that measures out. So there's another shift in the depth chart, and that has to do with kind of an unexpected player. I wanted to cover it in this video. Talking about rookie Caleb Johnson. He seems to be getting elevated in the third phase of the game. You guys know that special team. So the Steelers have been looking to work a number of players into the kick return game, most notably as a returner. And this is mostly trying to replace Cordero Patterson. He was released just days into training camp. I think that was expected. But you're looking at names like Roman Wilson that I was just talking about, and names like Robert Woods, right? They've had some reps in training camp to take the return job. But most notably, rookie running back Caleb Johnson has been back there as the ball is kicked out. And he just recently told reporters at training camp he's looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the return game for Pittsburgh. Third-round rookie. You guys know him really well. And at the running back position, he's looking at kind of being part of a three-headed monster. Jaylen Warren's already there and established. Kenneth Gainwell is a really effective third-down back. Kind of seeing how that shakes out as far as the running back room. But here's what he had to say about kickoff returns. Kickoff return is always a tone setter for me. When I always come out, I like to get ready to play. So when I get out on the first play, I ain't got no butterflies. It's like I already got it out. I feel that's my tone setter. That's just built into my game. I've been doing that all my life, so I just keep applying it to the field. He does have some experience in that capacity. While at Iowa, he returned 15 kicks for a total of 402 yards, a 26.8 average per return. That's a really good average. But then as the offense grew, as his role grew, the role really diminished over time. And I mean, that's probably going to be the case for Pittsburgh as he continues to get enmeshed and continues to have a major role within this team. But starting out, this might be a really good role for him. You're looking at Jaylen Warren, the incumbent. He really helped Patterson as a return man last season. And this year, it might be Warren's backup who ends up taking that role. And as for the other side, Wilson, he's likely the favorite to join Johnson as kind of a two-way tandem as far as return duties. But yeah, you don't want to get too high up the depth chart when putting return guys back there because there's always that sense that will he get injured? We've seen it happen before. And then the second that one of your marquee players gets hurt, you're like, oh man, why did we do that? But I think it suffices to say that definitely Caleb Johnson will have a part in this return game. And the depth chart is starting to reflect it. And not only Scotty, man, I can't talk today. I'm so sorry. Not only was Scotty Miller, the depth chart is starting to reflect some things. Also with Caleb Johnson, I'll continue to keep you posted with this. As we move forward towards the first preseason game of the season, you're going to see guys actually playing football. I promised you it would happen. We're almost there, and I can't wait. And I'm going to continue to be here giving you daily Pittsburgh Steelers news from an outsider's view, a non-fan view. Hopefully, this is a good perspective for you, and if you love it, hit the subscribe button. Would love to have you aboard, and it's a huge blessing to be in my family. So enjoy this off season, and we'll talk soon. See you.